Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders at the Great Millstone GMS, who rule well and who teach well, and salutations to the elect. Abba Ratazah, which means Father willing. So Father willing, this lesson is edifying. So we're going to go into the book of Judith, chapter 1 in the Apocrypha today. Alright, and a lot of historians and scholars try to count it as fiction because of the timelines that are in here. Alright, there's certain parts in here that don't quite line up with secular history, possibly due to some transliteration or translation errors, down the line. Alright, or the recomposition of the different manuscripts, across various languages, to piece together the events that happened, that transpired. So we'll try to, focus more on the, the story, content, right, and the deliverance that the Lord wrought by Judith. Okay, obviously the Most High, preserved it this way, for a reason. Okay, so Judith chapter 1 verse 1 reads, "In the 12th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned in Nineveh, the great city, in the days of Arphaxad, which reigned over the Medes in Ecbatane, 2, and built in Ecbatane walls round about of stones, hewn 3 cubits broad and 6 cubits long, and made the height of the walls 70 cubits, and the breadth thereof 50 cubits. The ruling class of the Neo-Babylonian Empire were Assyrians. Alright. Verse 3, "And set the towers thereof upon the gates of it 100 cubits high, and the breadth thereof in the foundation 60 cubits. And he made the gates thereof even gates that were raised to the height of 70 cubits, and the breadth of them was 40 cubits, for the going forth of his mighty armies, and for the setting in array of his footmen. Even in those days King Nebuchadnezzar made war with King Arphaxad in the great plain, which is the plain in the borders of Ragal. And there came unto him all they that dwelt in the hill country, and all that dwelt by Euphrates, and Tigris, and Hydaspes, and the plain of Arioch, the king of the Elamines." Alright. So that, points to the Elamites. Alright. "And very many nations of the sons of Chelod assembled themselves to the battle." Alright. Verse 7, "Then Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, sent unto all that dwelt in Persia, and to all that dwelt westward, and to those that dwelt in Cilicia, and Damascus, and Libanus, and Antilibanus, and to all that dwelt upon the sea coast." So basically, everybody in his dominion, in his kingdom. Alright. Verse 8, "And to those among the nations that were of Carmel and Galad," alright, that's Gilead, "and the higher Galilee, and the great plain of Esdraelon." Verse 9, "And to all that were in Samaria and the cities thereof, and beyond Jordan unto Jerusalem, and Bethane, and Chelis, and Cades, and the river of Egypt, and Taphnes, and Ramsey, and all the land of Gesem." Alright. Verse 10, "Until ye come beyond Tanis and Memphis, and to all the inhabitants of Egypt, until ye come to the borders of Ethiopia." Verse 11, "But all the inhabitants of the land made light of the commandment of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, neither went they with him to the battle." Okay, so they just, shrugged it off, the order that, he gave him. Okay. "For they were not afraid of him. Yea, he was before them as one man." Alright. "And they sent away his ambassadors from them without effect and with disgrace." Alright. The messengers he sent, they just cast them down like, get out of here with that, get out of here with that. Verse 12, "Therefore Nebuchadnezzar was very angry with all this country, and sware by his throne and kingdom that he would surely be avenged upon all those coasts of Cilicia Cilicia and Damascus and Syria, and that he would slay with the sword all the inhabitants of the land of Moab and the children of Ammon, right? Moab being the so-called Chinese, Ammon being the so-called Japanese, and all Judea and all that were in Egypt, till ye come to the borders of the two seas. So this is the narrative being set up for where, you know, Judith comes in. All right. Yeah. Verse 13. Then he marched in battle array with his power against King Arphaxad in the 17th year. All right. So when he was, you know, going to war with this king, he went and called the nations to assemble. All right. They basically said, you know, no, we're not doing that. Right. He got annoyed and said, all right. So once I'm done with this, y'all are next. All right. Yep, and he prevailed in his battle, for he overthrew all the power of Arphaxad and all his horsemen and all his chariots. You see? Verse 14, and became lord of his cities, and came unto Ecbatane, and took the towers, and spoiled the streets thereof, and turned the beauty thereof into shame. Alright, so he went to the city, right, the dominion, alright, that Arphaxad had, and razed it, which, you know, basically destroyed it, and brought it down to the ground. Okay. Verse 15, he took also Arphaxad in the mountains of Ragau, and smote him through with his darts, and destroyed him utterly that day. Right, so he killed him. Verse 16, so he returned afterward to Nineveh, both he and all his company of sundry nations. All right. You know, diverse nations. Okay. Being a very great multitude of men of war, and there he took his ease and banqueted, both he and his army, 120 days. 120 days. All right. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the book of Judith, chapter 1. Lord willing, I don't want to ratazar this lesson. It was edifying to the elect. All right. In closing, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. With that, shalom to the next show.